This is the story of Abhishek, a 28-year-old middle-class guy from India who studied hard, cracked interviews, and finally landed a job in a big MNC with a package of 20 lakh rupees per year. Sounds like a dream, right? But this dream has a darker side, the taxes. Welcome to Mayaverse. In today's video, we will cover everything about taxes in India from the eyes of a common man. Abhishek works day and night at his office. With his salary of 20 lakh per year, he plans to buy a house and his dream car in next 10 years. 2 years have passed, and Abhishek looks into his account. Total savings was less than 25 lakh rupees. He takes out a pen and starts writing down everything. His expenses covered most of it. In 2 years, he had spent around 6,60,000 on basic necessities like rent, groceries, internet, transport, electricity, and other bill and society maintenance. He even has a cook. Based on new regime, his company paid 7,35,000 rupees tax to government before giving him salary. This is called TDS, or tax deducted on sources. It also included a professional tax of 5,000, which was charged by the state government. A 4% is also added on top of income tax called Health and Education Cess. Abhishek was already aware of this, hence he started investing his money from the first salary. He made a profit of 1,20,000 in trading last year, but he has to pay 15% or 20,000 rupees as capital gain tax called STCG, which stands for short-term capital gain. On shares sold after a year, he made a profit of 2 lakh, on which he paid 10,000 as LTCG or long-term capital gain. He also used to trade in crypto and paid 30% tax on profits. He even bought and sold digital gold, paying 20% taxes there. Now he was left with 29,40,000 rupees, considering all the profits he made. But wait, his calculations don't match. It seems he also paid STT, or Securities Transaction Tax, which is a tax on purchase and sale of all these shares, which is usually around 0.1%. Abhishek thinks, how much is this 0.1% actually going to impact me? Turns out he paid around 10,000 on STT. Also, losses don't mean you can avoid this tax. STT needs to be paid even when loss is made in market. Abhishek remembers now. He made a loss of 3,50,000 in F&O trading. Due to this, he had to hire a CA to do this complex calculation and do an audit, who charged him 50,000 rupees in last 2 years. The CA also told him that he spent around 30,000 just on brokerage, exchange transaction charges, SEBI charges, and GST for buying and selling these assets. Abhishek realizes he started with 26 lakhs after paying taxes, but ended up with 25 lakh rupees. He decides to cut down his expenses. He thinks, I can't buy a house right now to avoid paying rent. I can't cut down my expenses on food, groceries, internet, or other electricity bills. My relatives keep poking me with, you have 20 lakh income and you still have a bike, just buy a car now. I can't dream of luxury car anymore. Let's buy one with good mileage. It will save my time and expenses a bit. Abhishek decides to reward himself. After 2 years of hard work in his MNC job, he finally buys his dream car worth 20 lakh rupees. But then he checks the bill. The base price of car was 10.5 lakh. On this, 28% GST was added, which was around 2.9 lakh. Additionally, a compensation cess was also added. A compensation cess is a kind of a compensation to state government for any revenue loss due to implementation of GST. Hence, a cess is applied here based on engine size of car, which is around 3.3 lakh. Adding registration charges and road tax, additional cost of 2.2 lakh is added. Road tax is nothing but a compulsory tax on every vehicle in India. It goes to state government. Finally, adding 1.1 lakh for insurance and handling fees, total price of car was set to around 20 lakh rupees. Out of 20 lakh rupees, around 9.5 lakh rupees is just taxes and compulsory charges. That's almost 50% of the car's price. Anyway, Abhishek thinks it's just one-time investment and it's time to enjoy a road trip. For this trip, he decided to go on a beach for vacation, which was around 1,000-kilometer distance. Petrol cost came around 10,000 rupees, out of which 6,000 was just excise duty and VAT on petrol. Excise duty is charged on the production of goods and charged at the time of removal of products. It is different from GST, which is tax charged on the supply of products and service. Abhishek has started his trip. On the highway, he spent around 4,000 only on toll tax. Considering other expenses of shopping and hotel booking, he is left with only 1 lakh rupees now. But wait, in last 2 years, Abhishek did an expense of more than 5 lakh on travel and shopping. That means he paid GST on all these goods around 18%, or 1 lakh rupees. Even the rent he pays contains municipal taxes, property tax, house tax, water tax, cleaning tax, sewerage tax, even parking tax for his new car. Now, I won't go into details, so let's add 1,30,000 for all this. Half of his income is going into the taxes, other half goes into expenses. Abhishek is now understanding the reality a bit better. Even if he starts earning more, he will have to pay surcharge and cess, the extra tax on tax. Even if he does side income and starts earning more, he has to pay advance tax 4 times in a year. If he misses a deadline, the government happily takes interest and penalties. In future, when he is going to buy a house, he has to pay stamp duty along with property and house tax. Even after buying a house, constructing anything new on top of it requires him to pay labor cess and BOCW tax, which stands for Building and Other Construction Workers Welfare Cess. Even if he earns day and night and try to buy a luxury vehicle, he has to pay custom duty on the imported vehicle. He can put money in FD, which will give return of 7% and barely beats rising inflation. But wait, this 7% is taxable as well. Abhishek pauses. Okay, I've paid so much. What do I get in return? Healthcare? Government hospitals still overcrowded. Education? Private schools dominate. Roads? Potholes after every rain. Infrastructure? Tolls keep increasing, but roads don't improve. This is not just Abhishek's story. This is the story of millions of middle-class Indians, taxed at every step. Check out this video which I made on tariffs explaining US-India relationship on channel page. And thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please subscribe to Mayaverse for more amazing content.